Let's see what's been happening here lately. TVG bought HRTV. Jockey Club bought the Blood Horse. I bought a snowblower. And absolutely nobody is buying the results of the election of the New York Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association. Why? The geniuses that run that organization figured out after the election that they don't have addresses for half their members, so they can't send them ballots. You know, if the United States was run like that, Al Gore would have never been elected president. And thanks for dropping by for the spring training edition of Lenny's Place, presented by my good friends at Hillendale Stallions. When you're making your breeding decisions, be sure to check out the Hillendale Stallion roster. You know, once upon a time, the people that voted for year-end championships knew that turf horses had their own category, and the champion older male and female were to be selected from among dirt horses. Then a funny thing happened. Since Blame in 2010, no dirt horse has been elected champion older male. So now the pros at the NTRA figure they need to save the sport from its own voters. So they've decided to create a new category that they originally called Older Male Dirt. It's a nice ring to it, and the award for Older Male Dirt goes to about an hour after they sent out that press release, with people shouting a collective, "What the?" The NTRA pros changed the category to Older Dirt Male. Another bad name, considering horses that race on synthetics are eligible for the award, but let's not quibble. After all, this represents some kind of proof that the NTRA actually does something. The real issue remains, however, that North American thoroughbred racing is today so decimated by injuries and/or early retirement that in 4 consecutive seasons it hasn't produced a dirt horse good enough to be named champion older male. And giving a trophy to everybody isn't going to mask this sad situation. A lot of people are concerned, and rightfully so, about TVG's takeover of rival TV network HRTV. Everybody wants to know what this all means. So, in a Lenny's Place exclusive, here are the top 6 changes you'll be seeing on the new TVG. Number 6, new tracker system will monitor the extraneous drivel spoken by each announcer. Number 5, plugs for TVG betting accounts and endless commercials for impotency and baldness remedies mean all races will be shown on tape delay. Number 4 change, horse names will no longer be used. Runners will be referred to as the 1 horse, the 2 horse, etc. And number 3 change, high-definition graphics will display how many thousands of dollars are lost by each expert handicapper. Number 2, all announcers will dress like carnival barkers. Step right up and bet, bet, bet. And the number 1 change on the new TVG, expanded features. Use the SAP button to enjoy in Spanish. Use the mute button to enjoy anytime. You may not know this man's face, but I guarantee you know the horses that he owns, breeds, and raises. This is Randy Gullatt of Twin Creeks Farm. More importantly, he's my neighbor in Nonsuch, Kentucky. Randy, welcome to Lenny's Place.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Randy and I kind of got off to a tough start. I used to have those wild all-night parties in my house. You kept on calling the police to quiet it down, but it's calmed down since then, right?
It has. All the night watching that we had to do and disturbing all the horses, but he's getting better.
I appreciate that. I try to be a good neighbor whenever I can. Twin Creeks, of course, co-owns Constitution. Winner of the Don Handicap. We'll get to Constitution in a minute. Randy, the thing I love about your operation at Twin Creeks is you and your partner, Steve Davison, friends since kindergarten. Can you talk about that friendship and partnership for a minute?
You know, Steve was always the good student and did everything right, and then I came from a different egg. But I got addicted to horses pretty early, so I started actually galloping horses when I was in high school. So I started getting into the horses, and I was like, Steve, we ought to claim a horse. And like, you got any interest in let's claiming a horse? And he said, let's do it. Let's do it one time. So we got lucky, got addicted. They won. We just kept it going. And amazingly enough, we went from $5,000 claimers to possibly running in the World Cup coming up. So that's pretty exciting.
It's a fantastic story. To maintain a friendship for that long and to have that kind of success in it, it's great stuff.
Absolutely.
Well, in the past couple of years, Twin Creeks has campaigned Mission Impazable, they campaigned Graydar, you've now got Constitution. Talk about Constitution, of course, was big on the trail of the Derby last year, winning the Florida Derby, but got injured. Explain what happened to him and how has he come back now at 4?
You know, he was always a horse that had just amazing ability. Winning the Florida Derby, he came out of that with a bad shin. Had a little crack in it. I think it was probably the best thing for the horse, to be honest with you, because we all want to run the Kentucky Derby, and we probably would have run the horse in the Kentucky Derby if the shin would have been perfect. But you know, he was always a immature colt. You know, had all this talent, but he hadn't filled out, and his mind wasn't quite there. So I think it was actually a blessing in disguise that all that happened, and. He's still not a completely seasoned horse, but he's a bigger, stronger colt, and I think he's just going to get better.
Yeah. Now, his only 2 losses in his career was the comeback race late last year, and then he ran a good third in the Clark, but he really stepped it back up here in the Don, didn't he?
You know, he's been training really well, and Todd's just been very complimentary of the horse, and we were kind of expecting a big effort, so it never happens till it happens. But I mean, it was a good field. I mean, Lee is, I think, a legit Grade 1 horse, and to be able to beat a horse like that is pretty awesome.
Now, you mentioned going over to Dubai. How is that plan formulated? Is it a lot of you and Steve talking with Todd? How does that decision get made?
You know, basically we take one race at a time, and you know, Elliot Walden with Windstar and I are very close friends, so
they're partners.
We're big partners on the horse, and we have had a good relationship for many years back in our training days, and so we get along great, and he and I basically do most of communicating together. And we've kind of kept this race in the back of the burner, but we haven't really brought it up. We were just kind of making the horse take us there.
Yeah.
And we were hoping this was going to work out. And when he performed like he did, you know, everything says that it's time. I think the horse is ready.
Now, Meydan, of course, has switched back to a dirt track, as was at the old Nat Shiva. Have you been watching races from there and kind of seeing how you think Constitution might fit over there?
You know, I have watched a few. I mean, it looks like it's going to be very favorable for his style. I know we had Graydar that won the Don a couple years ago, and he was invited, but they were running on the synthetic.
Yeah.
And he's a speed horse, and that wasn't really the thing to do. So we're like, we just didn't feel like a speed horse on the synthetic. Now we're going back to the dirt, watching some of these replays. Speed is, you know, very favorable, so I mean, I think we have to take a shot.
Wow, that's got to be exciting. Your first trip coming up over there as well.
Yeah, I've been waiting for to have a real excuse to go there.
You got a good one now. Twin Creeks, of course, besides owning some of these good horses, you've bred graded stakes winners like Negligee, Grade 1 winner, to Honor and Serve, who's a stallion now, Red Rifle, who is active now and winning stakes races. In basketball terms, I would call Twin Creeks kind of a mid-major, you know, not up there with the Windstars and the Lanes Ends. But you guys are up there playing with the big boys. I know you're a modest man, but you guys have done an amazing job. Is it skill? Is it luck? How have you been able to do what you've been doing the last few years?
You know, we've actually been in this business a long time.
Yeah.
So, you know, having the background of actually training horses and Steve owning horses all the way back from our high school days. You know, we've learned a lot, and then we got into the breeding part and took it slow and just kind of built that broodmare band, and then got back into racing. So, you know, we took our time and learned from the positive and the negatives, and we feel like we've earned where we are. But it's definitely been a long, exciting road.
That's great for you guys. A quick update on Graydar and Mission Impazable. Mission Impazable, of course, in New York. Graydar stands here in Kentucky. How are they doing?
They're both doing outstanding. Mission bred 105 mares in New York last year.
Wow.
And it's looking like he's going to have another big book. His yearlings look phenomenal. We're extremely excited. I think we were going to breed about 10 more mares of ourselves this year to him. We looked at these yearlings and we're like, now we have 18 going to him. Graydar's off to a great start. His babies are looking fantastic. He's got a fantastic group of mares as well. So, I mean, this is like a dream where we are right now. So
don't wake up.
Exactly.
and in a year or two, you'll have to send some to the Constitution also, I'm sure.
And
we're
ready.
Son of Tappet, by the way.
And very excited to do that. I mean, I just can't imagine, you know, what he could be. You know, with Tappet being so hot, and the pedigree he has and the talent he has. I mean, it's pretty exciting.
And you have his dam Baffled at the farm, who I'm going to take care of while you're in Dubai.
Absolutely,
okay.
absolutely.
Sure.
And she's in Polta Graydar.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll check up on her then. I'll go over there, bring some milk and cookies over there. Randy Gullatt, best of luck with Constitution. Best of luck on your trip to Dubai.
Thanks, we'll need it.
All right. I'm not so sure about that. I want to thank Randy for being here today. I want to thank our great viewers. I want to thank Hillendale Stallions. Making your breeding decisions. Don't forget to check out those Hillendale Stallions. We will be back with you in 2 weeks, March 17th. That is St. Patrick's Day, so pick up a cold one and tune back in here to Lenny's Place. Thank you, everybody.
We'll be right back.